Not to put pressure on you or anything, but time doesn't really wait for anyone. And that might put you under a little bit of pressure, which may be a good thing for some. For others, obviously not. But a lot of us, we don't really realize the kind of victim mindset that we have and that we live on a daily basis. Because if I said, even from the get-go, even if I said time doesn't wait for anyone, your reaction of that probably shows the kind of character you are right now. And again, if it's a pretty negative approach, then yeah, there might need to be some work that has to be done on your kind of mental game. If you want, of course. If you're comfortable with, your own things, then yeah, sure, carry on. But yeah, sometimes we fall into the trap of, I guess, just waiting for things to happen. And we kind of fall into, again, the victim mindset of waiting for the perfect conditions. Maybe waiting for it to become more sort of socially acceptable. And also waiting for the right opportunity. The list goes on, but we always tend to focus on the things that not only have to come externally to us, but also how it's really unfair and unjust for it not happening. We have this sort of, in a sense, this kind of sense of entitlement where we expect things despite no action being taken or not putting yourself in the position to receive what it is that you want. Not to say that luck doesn't exist, but for the most part, your odds are obviously going to be way higher when preparedness meets opportunity. I'm pretty sure everyone has a victim mindset in some sort of way, but we ultimately don't really want to live in that forever. Essentially, you want to cultivate more of an abundance mindset in a sense, where we kind of use I don't want to say the law of assumption, but it kind of does tie into that. But it's a state of being where we're not really living out of desperation. We're not surviving. We're thriving as a mindset. And the carryover is tremendous because you start to view life completely differently. Your perspective changes, and as a result, you take action on certain things. You start putting yourself in places where you're more deserving of receiving what it is that you want. So, saying that, it's all about what you can do right here, right now. That can kind of help out with whatever it is that you want out of life. Again, everyone's goals are going to be different, but we can kind of come to a, I guess, collective decision that we want to kind of grow. So let's do it. Maybe you could, and it could be anything really, but maybe you could work on the mental aspect of what you want. Maybe what kind of mindset that is that whatever it is that you want requires. And again, if you feel like sometimes you have to just have a little bit of patience, that's fine. But again, what can we do in this time that we are being patient? And I think planning is definitely something that could be very important, especially when building the sort of faith and the foundations on getting what you want out of life. There's no way this is one lane only. Oh, that's crazy. But yeah, say for example, it's a physical goal and you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to wait till next week to sort it out. I'm going to wait for Monday to come, and then I basically start the diet or whatever it is. Instead of thinking like that, why not start to make a plan for yourself? Something that you can stick to that's pretty realistic, pretty conservative, and then work your way up from there. And yeah, it could be anything from a dietary change to an exercise program. Just things where you can kind of visualize and put yourself in a place where even if you don't take action immediately, you still have a kind of foundation and a plan to move forward with. And then you keep refining it to the point where it kind of suits your life and your desire to stay fit. And this is the beauty of planning, right? Because even if you kind of struggle to take action, at least you still got a blueprint that's kind of ready to go. And again, like I was saying earlier, it's a lot easier to take action because you can kind of visualize a lot better. But guess what this all takes? Even the act of art or the act of planning also takes a level of action. So do all that you can do, and once you're done, you'll be satisfied. And once you're satisfied, then we can move on to the next day and take it steps at a time. But again, the main component is action. And I personally think what really stops us from taking any kind of action is fear. And because fear kind of comes into so many different kind of complex sort of factors, you know, you've got fear of the unknown, you've got fear of death, there's a bunch of other ones as well, but they carry over to your day-to-day life without us knowing. And so sometimes it's really hard, especially because we kind of have memory that sort of can trigger that sort of fear component, which again, on a evolution level, is pretty good because again, it helps survival, etc., etc. But in the modern world, it's a little bit more difficult because we're not really in that kind of world anymore. So we haven't really completely adjusted to kind of get rid of that. So work on the kind of fears you have or may have. I'm pretty sure there's probably online tests you can do if you don't want to spend time with yourself, and pretty much work on those, because ultimately that will really like make life a lot more easier for yourself. And then as a result, taking action. You have nothing to fear, so you're gonna do it. But yeah, man, I'm getting a little bit sleepy because it's pretty late right now. So yeah, I'm gonna head out. Appreciate you guys for watching. Remember to always be grateful. Remember to be grateful for the journey. I'm very grateful to even be able to make this video, to even be able to have you guys as subscribers, or if you're new watchers, and even for just clicking the video. I'm truly grateful. And I definitely think that we can build a better world, and yeah, I'm just trying to do my part for that. So see you in the next one, and peace and blessings to you all.